What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. You know, sometimes in Redemption you have this idea for a deck that seems like a lot of fun, and maybe it works some of the time, but maybe some of the time you're also the other part of the time, I guess, you finish a game against your opponent, and then they're like, okay, what was your deck trying to do? You find yourself feeling like you have to explain, okay, this is what the deck was trying to do. It looked a little weird. It didn't really work this time. Other times it has worked, or it's worked in test draws, or whatever you got to make up to kind of sell your case a little bit, and then you explain, okay, here's what the goal was, and sometimes that's for the purpose of then your opponent can give you pointers or tips on like, okay, here's maybe some things you could change to do this a little better. Sometimes you just do it because you feel like you have to defend yourself or your hard work, your what you've invested in building this deck, because it's a cool idea and you wanted to make it all work, and that can feel a little bad sometimes when you have to explain it because your deck didn't actually do the thing that you wanted it to do, that you designed it to do. But on the other hand, you do have to give yourself some credit, because if your opponent wasn't able to figure it out during the game, then that means you at least have a creative deck idea that you're exploring, and something that most people probably haven't thought of or attempted or tried. It's something that's a little more off the wall, something more unique, I guess. And sometimes decks like that will work, and your opponent will be able to figure out what's going on, but also sometimes not. And this is going to be one of those decks where some of the time, if you were to play this deck in some of the games, you might find yourself having to explain to your opponent, okay, here's what I was trying to do. But it is kind of a cool idea that I thought would be worth trying. I think I'm sure that there are definitely better ways to implement this strategy, or to work around this. And initially, the idea for this video was actually just that I did actually record myself building the deck and doing a little I've done a few kind of like deck overview / builds where I'm going or building a deck from the ground up. I think like 0 to 60 in roughly an hour or something like that was one of my deck builds. I think building Wilderness on a budget or something like that were videos where I was going through the process of building a deck, and some of the decisions that I make, or kind of the approach I take when I have this idea for a deck. And that's what I was initially going to do, but especially after recording that, I just felt like it wasn't going to be as helpful as I thought maybe it could have been. I was just a little bit too unsure of the direction that I wanted to go with the deck as I was building it. There were a few times where I was just like, I don't really know where to go next. And I think that maybe it still could have been a good video, but actually after I was done recording that the other night, I was on Discord. I saw BaboonyTim. He was like, hey, anyone up for a game? And I was like, you know what? Let's just take it where it's at and record a game with it, see what happens. And so that's what I did. I found there's no Lackey Grand Prix or anything associated with this week's video. It's just I found a Baboony in the wild, and we decided to play a game. I was like, hey, this is going to be a little bit of an off-the-wall deck or whatever, but I think it's going to be fun. So let's do it. It was kind of a late-night game. I think we both had fun, enjoyed the game. So hopefully you guys enjoy watching it as well. But let me get into the idea that I was going for, and where I ended up with the deck at the point of playing the game. And yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit before actually getting into the game, talk about some of the decisions I made and whatnot. So the goal of the deck was to build around Nazareth. I haven't actually, this is the first Type 1 rotation Nazareth deck that I have built, or the first deck that I've actually put Nazareth into even. So like it's the deck, or it's built around Nazareth, but I don't think all decks that have Nazareth in it are necessarily built around it. Most of them probably are, just because it is a very powerful symmetric effect that you do want to build around, or it's impactful, I guess, maybe not necessarily powerful. But yeah, it's a definitely an impactful ability, and those are maybe synonymous. I don't know. But the idea is that you are, with something like Nazareth, it protects decks, discard piles, and reserves from look and search abilities. So the fewer look and search abilities that I have in my deck, the better off I'm going to be in the matchup where my opponent is maybe going to be more reliant on those. And so that's kind of the idea, is get out Nazareth early and often and keep it protected, bring it back if you need to, and kind of just play at the pace of the game that Nazareth dictates, and hopefully your deck is built better for that. In most cases, I guess nowadays, you see this in something like a Disciples deck, which has Matthew, which is definitely the kind of biggest or kind of most one of the most common, I guess, draw engines in the game, where it's just turn one Matthew. It's pretty easy to set up Nazareth after that, or even before that, if you already have Matthew or a way to get to him before Nazareth comes down. But Disciples also have Peter. They play well at the Resurrection. So a Nazareth Disciples deck is typically going to be the way to go, or at least has been the way to go, I think, for a lot of people building around Nazareth. I wanted to do it a little bit differently, and I wanted to kind of try to play at a slower pace, but still kind of leverage Nazareth to my advantage. And in doing so, the defense is actually going to be built around shuffling Lost Souls, keeping them hidden. So Suicidal Swine Stampede, shuffling all Lost Souls in territory, Death When Righteous, shuffling all Lost Souls in territory, and then Sheol to underdeck Lost Souls if my opponent searches, which oftentimes your opponent's not going to be able to search if Nazareth is out, so triggering Sheol is difficult. I think they can still maybe search Artifact Pile. I think Artifact Pile is a searchable zone. But yeah, there are going to be fewer things triggering Sheol, but I mean, also your opponent is going to deal with Nazareth on some, or to some degree at some point in the game, most likely, so that they can search, and it's good to have some other ways to punish that if they do. So Sheol and Fallen Star are both kind of layers of search discouragement, I guess. And Sheol works well with the soul hiding strategy here. So basically, Swine Stampede and DOU are going to shuffle my Lost Souls off the table. Nazareth is going to mean that my opponent can't search my deck for a Lost Soul to play it with something like a star ability on Amazing Faith, or something like a special ability on a character that plays a Lost Soul from a deck, something like that. So, or Covet is another common one. And so the idea is to try to stop them from pulling Lost Souls out of my deck. And then the other common source of soul gen these days is to create tokens in your opponent's Land of Bondage with cards like Lost Souls and Harvest, and then also Hopper, just putting a Lost Soul in your opponent's, or basically giving a Lost Soul to your opponent's Land of Bondage. So that the deck is also going to be built around getting out Moses early, or Resurrection Revealer. And so the way that we get to those are pretty straightforward. We have Pharaoh's Daughter, we've got Dread Lost Soul. I think those are the main ways to get to Moses. I think I cut some of the other ways. And then also Resurrection Revealer can be grabbed at the same time as Nazareth, which is nice with the Resurrection. So you can get Resurrection Revealer out that way. You can also use Angelic Guidance, and I think that's kind of those are kind of the main ways that I baked in. But I guess Crowd's Choice is always an option as well. But there are just a number of things that you want to try to set up to kind of establish a lock, I guess, on the game, and to bring things down to a pace where the deck that I'm playing is going to ideally be more well suited for. So other things that we want to try to set up are like the cross to stop them from dealing with Nazareth through dominance. So shipwreck and three woes are both common ways to deal with Nazareth. And then we also have the tribute combo, I guess, in here, where you can use tribute to give Nazareth to your opponent. And if you do so while you have Bethlehem Stable in play, then when Nazareth reactivates under your opponent's control, then Bethlehem Stable will protect from Nazareth's protect effect. So that means that your opponent will be, your opponent's deck, discard pile, and reserve will be protected from their look and search abilities with Nazareth, but my deck in reserve will be protected from that protect effect. As long as I have Bethlehem Stable out before Nazareth. The timing can be a little bit confusing, but basically the key to keep in mind is that when Nazareth activates is when your protection needs to be active. So if I have an active protect ability, then Nazareth can't target my deck for protection. However, if Nazareth is already protecting my deck, discard pile, and reserve from look and search abilities, then Bethlehem Stable doesn't stop that from happening, I guess. So Bethlehem Stable, you could think of it kind of like a prevent ability, where it stops it from happening in the future. But if Nazareth is already protecting my deck, discard pile, and reserve, then Bethlehem Stable can't go back and do that, or prevent it from being protected, or stop it from being protected. Interrupt, I guess, would be completing the analogy with redemption cards or redemption abilities. And then if Nazareth is negated, then Bethlehem Stable can kick in and be the protection, so that when Nazareth is not negated, it will turn back on, but Bethlehem Stable will be protecting at that point. You may need to verify that in ruling questions. You can just search for Nazareth and get some of the nuances in there. Anything that I may have misspoke, or maybe my analogy was confusing. But if you're going to play with Nazareth, you should be familiar with how it works, which I'm here talking or trying to tell you that I might be saying something wrong, but I'm playing Nazareth. Anyways, this is the first deck that I built. Okay, this is actually based off of the Scroots deck. So I guess, it's like I said, it's the first Type 1 rotation deck that I built with Nazareth in it. This is based off of the Scroots deck idea that I built for the Mr. Classic tournament. It was actually the deck that I lent to John Hendricks after he won Booster Draft, and then participated at the in the Mr. Classic event. So this was in that version, it was pretty much just mono silver, so straight angels, and then some demons and magicians with cards like Deceiving Spirit, Damsel with the Spirit of Divination, the classic version, I guess, and a few other demons and magicians that worked well to blend Swine Stampede and Death of Unrighteous, because Swine Stampede has a Disciples version and DOU has a Roots version. Also a Patriarchs version, which I guess the Patriarchs version is technically better. I guess one little fun fact or tidbit about Death of Unrighteous: the Roots version is slightly different from the Patriarchs and Legacy Rare versions. This is the Legacy Rare version here, where this version and the Patriarchs version has, shuffle all lost souls, insights, and land of bondage, period, separate sentence, discard all evil characters in battle. The Roots version is discard all evil characters in battle to shuffle all cards in land of bondage. So it does the same thing in 99% of cases, but if your evil character is protected from discard, or there's a way that you have to instead the discard ability, or whatever it might be, the Roots version won't actually shuffle the Lost Souls unless the evil character is discarded, because it's a cost benefit ability, or that's how the ability is structured. You have to do this to do this. If you can't pay the cost, you don't get the benefit. However, Death of Unrighteous from Patriarchs and the Fall of Man Legacy Rare version, you do the first part, you shuffle all Lost Souls and Sights and Land of Bondage, then you discard all evil characters in battle. If your evil characters are protected from discard, then they just stay in battle, which can be risky because then that means Death of Unrighteous stays in battle and your opponent has an opportunity to negate it with something like 3 woes, or if you're passing initiative, then they will have an opportunity to undo that, which so if you're doing that, make sure you remember which Lost Souls you're shuffling away. But because it's not a cost benefit, then there's technically an advantage to be playing the Patriarchs or Legacy Rare versions of Death of Unrighteous, which I think is kind of cool because it means that the Legacy Rare version is still going to be a little more rare, or more desirable, I guess. And the value doesn't tank as much because of the Roots availability, but in most cases the Roots one is going to be fine. It doesn't mean you have to go out and I got to chase after this Legacy Rare from Fall of Man. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit if you hadn't realized that. On most other cases, like cards, if they gave them a similar effect, or where they wanted to do the same thing, then most of them were worded similarly or close to the same, or maybe just modernized or whatever. But Death of Unrighteous was a different one. Anyway, where were we with this deck? Okay, so it was based off of the Scroots version that I had built. I also built a Type 2 deck that I happened to put Nazareth in. It wasn't really built around that, though. So this is the first Type 1 deck, rotation deck, that I have built around Nazareth, or even put Nazareth in. And I just wanted to do it a little bit differently than what we've been seeing, by hiding some Lost Souls and trying to basically just wait out hide the Lost Souls, try not to draw them very quickly, or if at all, and just try to kind of outlast my opponent in just attacking, getting some value, maybe getting blocked, but still having Lost Souls to rescue after, and hopefully kind of getting an advantage at that point. So anyways, the ways that we have to get Nazareth out on turn 1 are as follows. Resurrection, of course, is going to be kind of the go-to, or kind of the best way. Crowd's choice to get Resurrection is a common play. Also, Amazing Faith to get Resurrection can be good. Resurrection is most of the time going to be used to play either Bethlehem Stable or Chamber of Angels, as well as Simon Peter, and then it will use to band Peter into battle, and then Peter will play Nazareth. Ideally, in a perfect world, let's say I have Resurrection Revealer and Simon of Cyrene in my opening hand. Resurrection Revealer can search for the Resurrection. Resurrection then searches for Bethlehem Stable and Peter, and then bands to Simon of Cyrene and then Simon Peter. Simon of Cyrene goes to activate the cross from my deck, and then Peter goes to play the Nazareth. That means that my opponent won't be able to use 3 woes or shipwreck on Nazareth, and it will be more difficult for them to deal with it. Not everybody is prepared for Nazareth having cards that negate it in territory or during battle. But in territory is often, or during prep phase, is often when people want to use their search abilities to help get set up, or in battle as their heroes are attacking, which not many heroes negate good fortresses and then allow you to band or to do some other search ability. So that's one of the reasons why Nazareth can be tricky, I guess, to work around. Let's see, other ways to get to Nazareth on turn 1. Angel of Warning is another way. That's going to be a common, maybe not the most common, but it will be an option. Angel of Warning is also a nativity hero, so that kind of works well with the little Star of Bethlehem synergy here. or I guess plan, I don't know, just another way to draw cards through Nazareth. Basically, it doesn't use any search abilities. It reveals cards from your discard pile in hand. So even if your discard pile is protected from search abilities, revealing cards from a pile or from your deck or whatever is not searching, or it's not looking. It's a separate ability, and so it gets around Nazareth, which is kind of nice. So we've got Angel of Warning, Heavenly Host, Messianic Messenger, and Gabriel here. They're all nativity to try to take advantage of that, and then maybe that can draw into Resurrection or help get you there. Let's see. Annunciation can look for Resurrection. Angelic Guidance can look for Resurrection Revealer, which can go get Resurrection. And then, like I mentioned before, Amazing Faith can go and get Resurrection. Great White Throne goes to get Resurrection Revealer. New Covenant can go to get Angelic Guidance, which gets Resurrection Revealer. So there are lots of ways to get Nazareth out on turn 1, which is kind of the ideal. I should say one big caveat with the way that I have this deck structure right now is that it's at 63 cards, which it sounds a little bit crazy. It probably is a little bit crazy, but if I'm maximizing the ratio of non-lost souls to lost souls, then I'm more likely or less likely to draw lost souls on any given draw effect or draw at the beginning of a turn. So that's kind of the idea, is to try to keep the lost souls out of the way. They're in my deck, keep them in there. That's the plan. And so 56 cards probably would be better. And by probably, I mean certainly. There's one fewer lost soul total, and it would be more consistent in getting to Nazareth. But like I said, this was initially, I was putting this together while I was recording, and so I didn't really want to take too long kind of figuring out, okay, what all I should cut to get it down to 56. And I also was at the point where didn't really know what to cut until I had done some test draws, played some games. Sometimes the deck building process will look like that, where you'll start out either with 63, maybe 70 cards, maybe you started out at 57 and then you want to get it down to 50, but you can just play it a few games, or at least just do a few test draws at 57 and kind of see, okay, this card seems like I'm probably not going to use it in most situations, or like this card isn't very good in my opening hand, maybe I should move it to reserve, things like that. So that is kind of where this deck is at. It's like 63 isn't ideal, but if I could get it down to 56, probably. There's a ton of support and utility cards in here, and some of them can probably be cut down, but I'm not fully convinced of any of them, or that any of them should be, I guess, or any of them in particular should be. I know some should be, but yeah, it's hard to figure out. Might need to kind of narrow the scope of the deck a little bit, but everything in here more or less serves a purpose. Even Razor, that kind of brings me to maybe the next stage or kind of goal of the deck, which is once you get to Nazareth, you want to keep it around, you want to keep it active. So the main ways that people are going to be dealing with your Nazareth are negating it with something like 3 Woes, which sticks around. And so having ways to get rid of 3 Woes is going to be a good way to keep your Nazareth online. So for one, we can stop them from playing it with something like the Cross, but if they get it down and they play it as evil, which means that they'd be able to negate Nazareth with it, then I have cards like Razor to take it out. Expelled from Heaven can banish it. Burning Up the Chaff, the star ability, can be used to discard an evil card in a territory, which if I have Star of Bethlehem, I can activate that star ability, whether Burning Up the Chaff is in my hand or it's in discard pile. And it also can be used to take out evil characters, which is kind of cool. This is a star ability that actually initially was just discard an evil card, like anywhere in play, and fortunately through some testing, they were like, okay, we came to the conclusion that it shouldn't be an Angel of the Lord with Star of Bethlehem, or it shouldn't turn Star of Bethlehem into an Angel of the Lord that also does a bunch of other things, which is basically what it would be used for more often. But it's still, I mean, cool. Discard all of the characters in battle. It's a good effect, especially on a character like Michael, making it cannot be negated. And after, a card like Swift Beings, making it so you don't have to have initiative if you're interrupting their battle winner and then playing this. So that was just a fun little way that I thought of to deal with 3 woes. Let's see. Then on, I guess those were kind of the main ones. Yeah, Expelled from Heaven, Burning Up the Chaff, and Razor. Razor is nice because it can be used on Moses and not be prevented. So it works well with him. And then I also, I have a little bit of Pale Green here to be able to play Death of Unrighteous and Mask of Fear. So it can be used on one of my smaller like chump blockers like Deceiving Spirit. You choose Pale Green so that you can use Pale Green enhancements, play Razor, play Death of Unrighteous or Swine Stampede, and you're good to go. Let's see, and then I guess those were kind of the main ways of dealing with 3 woes at least, and then other ways that your opponent's going to be stopping your Nazareth or negating it are either through enhancements or artifacts. So Resurrection Revealer is nice to negate the rest of their neutral cards, turn off their Lost Souls, as well as any like Image of the Beast or something like that they're using to negate Nazareth. I don't see that too often, but maybe it will if people are getting more worried about Nazareth. And then also Moses is good for negating the enhancements that people might be playing to negate Nazareth, such as Teaching in Parables that negates a card in a territory this turn, or Did God Really Say? Negate a good or neutral card this turn. Deafening Spirit is another way. Fear of Man is common. So those are all ways that people can use to turn off your Nazareth for a turn while they attack and use all their search abilities and all that kind of stuff that they have been wanting to do while you've been stopping them with Nazareth. Speaking of those, then, if I don't have an opportunity to tribute Nazareth to my opponent and I have some searching that I want to do, then that's where these cards are actually going to come in handy, where I can use Teaching in Parables, Did God Really Say, or Deafening Spirit if I happened to get it out of my reserve before Nazareth was active. I can use those to turn off my Nazareth for the turn, do my search abilities. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have too many searching things that they want to do or they need to do, and then I can pass to them, and then Nazareth will turn back on at that point. So that can be that's something that I think you'll want to do if you're using a Nazareth deck, is basically just make it so that you have at least a few options to be able to turn it off yourself, so that you can use something like the Second Coming to go and get Son of God for Lost Soul number 5 or something like that, or use Crowd's Choice to get a block, or whatever you need at the time. So those were kind of the main concepts with the deck that I wanted to squeeze into here, and there's definitely some more squeezing to be done, but I thought that it was a fun exercise, I guess, of putting the deck together and trying to make this strategy work. I think that there is an argument for maybe just ditching the Moses and the other gold stuff with Zacchaeus and Simon of Cyrene, and maybe just going straight with the angels, because maybe still keeping Peter, I think, just because getting out Nazareth that way is a lot, getting to Resurrection is pretty easy, because getting to Resurrection Revealer is pretty easy, and Resurrection being able to bring out Nazareth and Peter, well, I guess bring out something else and Peter, and then Peter getting out Nazareth, there's a lot of reasons to want to be able to do that. So that's kind of the direction that I think maybe this deck would have to go in order to get down to 56. As much as I wanted to keep Moses in here, that was kind of the driving thing, or one of the main things I wanted to do when I was first coming up with the idea for the deck was, okay, I want to have Moses to negate Lost Souls because that's a big soul gen thing. It's really easy to get Moses out on turn 1. And then I want Nazareth to stop the searching, and then I want Swine Stampede and DOU to shuffle my Lost Souls. And I think that Angels just kind of provided the best shell, I guess, to get Nazareth outside of that. And maybe, just because Resurrection is so good in not only getting Nazareth out, but also if you get Nazareth out without having to have played Resurrection, then Resurrection is the only way that exists to get Nazareth back from the discard pile, as far as I know. And so if you get Nazareth out, your opponent has Shipwreck, then you pretty much need to have Resurrection. And there's not a whole lot of... I don't know, I don't think there would be a whole lot that could utilize Moses well and utilize the Resurrection well. They just don't blend well they don't blend together super well. Maybe like Disciples with Transfiguration, that kind of thing, but Transfiguration is stopped by Nazareth, and I also just didn't want to build a Disciples Nazareth deck because that's what people are doing. I wanted to be a little bit different. So, I don't know, there's arguments either way. I think just going straight Angels and relying on Resurrection Revealer to be your means of negating Lost Souls, and hopefully you can kind of work around some of the other things. I did think about putting Salty in here as a way to hinder some of these territory class enhancements that can be used to negate Nazareth. However, I didn't want Salty interfering with my ability to go get Nazareth for something like Angelic Guidance or the Annunciation. So it's similar to Nazareth. It was kind of a two-edged sword there. And so I stuck with Moses for now, but like I said, probably where the cuts would have to happen, because the Moses package is pretty substantial, I guess. As far as Lost Souls, I think the main things were like Imitate and Lawless, just to generate some value if Moses isn't down, to work around Nazareth because Lawless is a reveal. Wanderer to take away Lost Souls that can be annoying, then put my Moses down so that they are stuck with my Wanderer, but then Swine Stampede and DOU or Sheol can put their Lost Soul back into their deck, so then I have one fewer Lost Soul in mine. Kind of a nice way to go about it. And Humble and Wicked are both Lost Souls that work with Moses out, which is nice because they're granting modifiers, and Wicked in particular is useful against cards that protect Lost Souls from evil cards, because people do run those for sure, and they make Swine Stampede and DOU potentially regardless of protect abilities, which can be nice. The rest of the deck, I won't go into too much detail about. You will see at least some things happen in the game. There will be some fun had on both sides for sure, and so there will be some explaining at the end of what's going on, but not as much as there could have been. So I'll leave it at that. You can enjoy the game here with BaboonyTim, but quickly before... Oh, actually, I will mention BaboonyTim, the deck that he's using, is a deck that he just released a video out on earlier this week, within the last few days, I guess probably if you're watching this video soon, and that is the Daniel Terminator deck that he built and was trying to get Rome has destroyed Jerusalem, and so that interaction will be kind of interesting because this is a mostly New Testament offense, and also Nazareth, so I want to keep my fortresses around and everything. So that is going to be the matchup, or I guess the deck that he's playing. And before we get into it, let's talk about our sponsors over at Your Turn Games, because they are cool by sponsoring this channel. It's not the only reason they're cool, but it's a reason that I think they're cool. For one thing that I want to highlight for this week on Your Turn Games as a retailer of Redemption are their Challenger decks, which are kind of like contender decks in that they're pre-built and they're put together by experienced players, so they're ready to take into the tournament environment if you so choose. But unlike contender decks, they are not quite as expensive, which means that there are just fewer rares and other cards that are kind of more common or competitively popular, and so the options will be a little more open as far as like if you want to expand on them. But if you are on more of a budget, then challenger decks are going to be the way to go. They're typically somewhere between $30 to $40 less than contender decks, and they're still great deals based on like the singles card value. You can go grab a challenger deck for a good chunk off of the kind of total price. Here they actually show you how much getting all the singles together would be, and then how much off of that you get. So some of these are more recent with the GOC stuff. Some of them are a little more dated, I guess, with like LOC things, but they're still relevant. The themes are still strong, and so if you go in and look, the decks are pretty solid, I guess would be maybe a good term for it, because they are going to get you closer to where you want to go if you're kind of working from a starter deck and want to get towards a like tournament ready competitive deck. Challenger decks are a good option for you. Of course, contender decks, we talk about those a decent amount on the channel here. At least once in a while we feature a contender deck. And challenger decks are just kind of a step in between with like starter decks or kind of some kind of more basic level decks and contender decks. So they're just somewhere in the middle, and can be good to give you more flexibility without having to spend quite as much. So that's what I wanted to feature on Your Turn Games here for this week's video. Thank you again to them for supporting this channel, and let's go ahead and dive into the game. All right. This is about as unrefined as they come, but it'll be interesting.
Love to hear it.
All right.
Time to get put in the refiner's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Rolled a 5.
I rolled a 4, so your choice.
I will choose to go.
No lost souls in mine.
I'll choose to go second.
All right. I will not activate any star abilities.
And neither will I.
All right.
All right. Got a soul ability.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go grab something else. Shepherds.
All right.
So am I correct in understanding that the Lost Souls, is that currently active? Would it get another trigger from the Shepherds being put into play?
So I guess, yeah, I think so. If you order them, basically you order the way in which your lost souls activate, and so if you order lost souls first, then you get a trigger from that, and then you do hunter, and then you get a trigger off of shepherds.
All right, then I'd like to do that.
Yep.
And then Shepherds is going to underdeck a card from my hand to draw a card.
A little spoiler alert: the next Lackey update, or after the next Lackey update, you won't have to use these Majestic Heavens tokens anymore.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
You still can if you want
All
to,
right.
but
I'm excited. No, I'm kind of over these. All right, I'm all done with my Lost Souls abilities. Proceed.
okay. Well, let's start things off then. Let's do Fallen Star and Territory. Heavenly Host. We'll make a token. I will put down Sheol.
You really don't want me searching.
I really don't. Should I go into battle here? I mean, I might as well, right? It's just a token. So I will go to my rescue attempt.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay.
We'll throw out a 1/9 Heavenly Host token. See what you got.
I'm gonna block and negate and underdeck your host,
Oh, sad.
and I will not exchange.
All right, set the bottom. Um, I will play Burning Up the Chaff to discard the Brood of Vipers.
All right. Special initiative.
Yep.
I'll play some Mask of Pride,
Mm-hmm.
and you will get burned up.
Yay.
I'm thinking if I want to play Dominant here.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. You go. No
Right.
dominance.
So we got a Pharisees defense. Is that what we're looking at here, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
All right, all right. I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay, I have a star ability. I have a Stricken, which is
Gross.
pretty nice. And also during my upkeep, I'm going to play Dominant. I'll play this as good to negate Shield and Fallen Star.
Don't like it.
So now that my Soiching's back online, I can do some things now. Let's start off with Foretelling Angel.
Okay.
My zone of ongoing. It's not a Daniel card. I would play Great White Throne, and I will activate it. Get rid of this.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Giving you evil cards in your
Yeah,
discard
yeah. Okay, so you're playing some demons. What do I do about that? I'm gonna get Daniel.
Danny boy. Seems good.
That's not a Daniel card.
Hop on
And
top.
then I'm gonna go for a house on top, exactly. Okay. Is
this like
I'm
the
gonna go for
declaring
Damascus.
attackers build up, or okay. One more searchability to make me feel bad about.
Exactly. Let's grab this fellow.
It's a cool tech. Hey, that's a Daniel
Oh, that's
card.
a Daniel card. Okay, okay. I'm down. I'm down.
Let's
All right,
see.
I'm gonna move to
Nicodemus
my
goes into play, right? I think.
you're correct. I'm gonna go to my attack step now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Daniel negating all the above, everything except for Old Testament
All the
above.
things.
And banded to servants, banded to foretelling angel.
Okay. And you've got 7 in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we block with the Fallen Star, cannot be negated in battle, and we'll withdraw your angels.
Uh-oh. Okay, I didn't think about this.
Uh-oh.
Nope. This is awkward. Yeah, this is quite awkward. I'm gonna use a manually triggered ability to grab Son of God off the top of my deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will think about my life choices here.
And I believe it is stalemate. I think Daniel still survives because he's still protected
Okay, right.
from fallen stars. So it's
And did I have the option to present a new character if I had one? Or
no,
would I have
because
to
yeah,
have
the
all the characters in my
right,
battle?
yeah, you can only
Okay.
present in an empty battle or
I do
empty side
gotcha. I do
of your
gotcha.
battle, I guess.
Mm. Okay. I think I'll be fine. Be fine about that.
Um,
And then,
yeah,
oh,
okay.
did you want to play something?
Don't think so. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then does Fallen Star, is he back to being negated now since he's out of combat?
believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, because he reactivates when coming back to territory, and he didn't leave play, so he's uh, still targeted
I
by
gotcha.
Moe's. Yeah.
All right. I believe that's going to be my turn. You're up.
All right. Um, no stars. Hmm. Okay, okay. What do we do with this? So you are no active ongoing abilities really.
Nope.
Um, can go to reserve now. Let's start out with the wages. Go to my deck. See what I can find that can help me here, if anything. Not a fan of that Nicodemus, that's for sure. Hmm. I guess we'll take a razor. Bet you didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't. What is happening?
Then I will put down Pharaoh's daughter is good.
Yep.
Take Moses from deck. And let's see. So you get to draw two. It's Nicodemus, but I mean, it'll be a scattered sheep, and you have a stricken. They're both Old Testament. Um, yeah, I guess I'll go to battle. And oh, maybe that's better actually. Hmm. Yeah, let's do this. I'll attack with Moses. Hope for the best.
Moses. It's Moses. That's why the razor came out, huh?
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Hey, Moses, what are you going to do about this?
Hmm. Well, be sad, that's for sure. Huh. So it's mutual, or I guess not mutual because you're protected. So I am losing outright. Um, I think it still makes sense for me to play the Razor here, and I'm going to discard Nicodemus.
You got it.
And I am still losing by just a couple numbers here. So unfortunately, Moses is gonna bite the dust. Sad day for Moses. And
Mhm.
then I will pass the turn.
All right. 1, 2, 3. I have a star ability. I have a Lost Soul trigger. So the star ability will happen before the Lost Soul. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I will. I will do it. I'll reveal all hands. Underdeck a hero from each hand.
Yeah, I
Here's what
suppose
I'm working with.
knowing that you had that on top, I probably should have put down my hero. Oh
All
my
right, little
goodness.
Zacchaeus. Sorry, buddy.
All right.
Underdecked, and then good to know about shipwreck, star. Okay, I gotcha.
All right. Lots of dominance there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have this mayhem in my hand, but okay. Anyways, I also have a covet trigger that I want to do now,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a Lost Souls trigger that's pending. Which will resolve first, the Lost Souls trigger or the covet trigger?
Covet.
Okay, so I'm gonna close your hand back up. Take a look at your deck. And let's see what we're working with here.
Have fun.
I think I know what I'm getting, but I just want to take a look. What the?
Humble.
What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Okay, I see a tribute. Don't know how you're going to use that, but oh, okay. This is interesting. Okay, very interesting. I'm very excited. Put to all, none, and shuffle. All right, so I have two Lost Soul triggers because I got the Humble and I got the.
Yep.
Let's give you both of these because why not?
All right. I will ask for Dominish in your draw phase.
You've got it.
I'm going to play Son of God. I'm not sure which Lost Soul I
Mm-hmm.
rescue here. I'm pretty sure the answer should be Lost Souls. Get rid of the tokens. But I kind of want my humble. Yeah, let's get Lost Souls. That has more potential to do long-term damage.
All right. All right, upkeep phase. The three woes has to choose now what it wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Pick your
I'm
poison.
going to, yeah. I feel like keeping it on shield is going to be the right call for now. I can deal with the underdeck of hand. I have so many resources.
Fair enough. Must be nice.
Okay, so shield's negated. Go to my prep phase. I'm gonna activate my Great White Throne.
Mm-hmm.
Get this out of here. Play Russian roulette now with some Michael.
You've got a few ways to get to him, so hopefully he sticks one of these times.
Okay.
All right, so we
And then
get
I need to take one of these at random.
so it'd be two, I guess, because it's two searches with Great White Throne.
Oh, dang. Good point. Okay. Um, discard. I'll just put them in the discard to a random and then move it into my deck.
Okay.
Oh, but then you get to see it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Did I hit Michael?
Not the end of the world. Yeah, I got to stick Michael, though.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay, I shuffled my deck. Let me put shuffle.
Oh, wait.
Top.
But the cards that you underdeck should stay on the bottom.
Oh, they don't get. Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot they get underdecked and not shuffled.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I need to fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Book of the Covenant back on top.
So I guess, well, book.
No. Book did get shuffled away because I searched with Great White Throne.
Right, yep.
But I need to put the other two on the bottom. Sorry about this confusion.
No, it's all good. It's Foretelling Angel and Fallen Star are both two confusing lackey cards.
Yep. Right, so if it's okay to you, I'm going to put these on the bottom.
Yep, so yeah, you shuffle, put those on the bottom, reveal the top.
Now I have the top, which is this.
Conveniently a Daniel card. Suspicious.
What? This guy's cheating. Okay. Um, let's see. I want to play that now or later. Yeah, I'll draw that.
All right.
Okay. I will just rip this off. Protect from evil cards this turn.
Seems good.
And then I'm going to go to combat. Back with Daniel, Michael, servants. And that'll be my attack.
Yep. So they're all protected. Yeah, I got nothing I can do about that. So which lost soul do I give you here? I suppose the covet.
Okay.
I can let you get to one, I guess.
Thanks. And then I'm at 8 cards in hand. I should probably put some down. Artifact. And I'm going to pass it over to you.
Alright. Uh-oh. More lost souls. Don't like that. Darkness doesn't do anything. And, well, I guess I gotta do my star ability first. Let's reserve that Fear of Man off the top of your deck. There's the character that can grab your Fear of Man right back from reserve. Look at that.
Yeah.
Alright, well, this is not ideal. I guess he's cleared off here. I'm
going to ask for dominant initiative.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to rescue Wanderer.
Yep, makes sense. It can't be worth it, I don't think. Trying to remember if you had any other evil characters in hand. I probably should have thought about that more closely when I was looking at your hand. I don't think you did, but I'm going to be sad if I'm wrong. But I think that the answer is to try to be aggressive here because I'm already behind on resources. So I think I'm going to play Star of Bethlehem. Reveal Burning Up the Chaff from my discard pile to discard your Nero.
Nice. That's spicy.
And then I will yeah, I will send Pharaoh's Daughter into battle.
Hey, Rose Daughter. All right, I'm going to ask for Dom initiative.
You got it.
Going to negate good enhancements and discard all covenants. So then I'm going to play Mayhem.
Fun. Right, I forgot you had Mayhem. I kind of more or less okay with that.
You make me do desperate things just to get a block off over here. I'm blocking you. Um, I'm going to go with a lol, yes.
Hmm. Okay, Claudius. Oh boy. I should have attacked with the angel. um, Technically still have an option here. I don't know that it's good though. Uh, hmm. Sure, you know what? We're here for spice, right? Uh, let's play
Yep.
Second Coming.
Okay.
I'm
Yep.
gonna go to deck for uh, Crowd's Choice. I
Okay.
will play as good
Yeah.
to, I believe. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna search for the New Covenant.
Okay.
I don't know if this actually
Okay.
gets me anywhere, but we'll find out.
This will be interesting. This is definitely a line you can play
Uh-huh,
with your
uh-huh.
fairest daughter.
So I'm going to play the New Covenant in a band to the Heavenly Host token,
Love that.
and let's
Love
see.
that.
So you're protected from Heavenly Host token.
I still
Um,
think it's your initiative. Or
I think because my toughness is big enough, then you would have initiative. It would be stalemate. So I'm going to not give you initiative. Um, Play the
oh
Resurrection.
no, 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 no. Not like this.
And what's the sequence of events here that I want to do? I guess, let's see, I can't band in angels, so yeah, let's get Bethlehem Stable and Stinky Pete.
Pinky Pete.
Um,
What the?
Sorry, Peter. I didn't mean it that way. Just,
I mean,
So then Peter's coming in, and so is Simon of Cyrene. This is a
right,
Simon battle.
right.
Um,
Got the
Simon of
Simons.
Cyrene is going to go first to activate a gospel artifact from deck,
Okay.
which I believe. That's yeah, it's kind of tricky. But I think cards are better here. So we're gonna activate 4 drachma coin on Peter,
Oh, okay.
and then
Some synergy.
Peter's
Simon synergy.
yeah right. Um, Peter is gonna convert to Meek to grab. Um, oh no. Hmm. If I do that, then I don't know if I win the battle, but well, we're gonna find out. Play a Nazareth.
Uh-oh.
Then I'll go
Okay.
ahead and discard 4 drachma coin to draw 4.
Okay. It's pretty good.
All right. So now I've got a bunch of New Testament heroes in battle that you're protected from.
Hmm.
And I believe it is your initiative in stalemate.
Great. Stupid Nazareth, you're ruining everything. Okay. Um, I'll just fire this off to draw a card, I guess.
Cool,
And you
cool.
get to draw a card as well.
Uh-huh. I was really hoping that was going to be the card that... Oh, actually, no, I don't. My Bethlehem Stable protects me
Oh,
from your optional draw. Sad. Well, now I'm glad it wasn't
all
a
right,
card that was going to win me the battle.
your initiative.
All right. I think... let's see. You might have a way of turning off Nazareth, but I'm not sure. I think it might be better off with information here. Yeah, let's just see. Well, I guess I could wait till next turn. All right, I'll pass.
Pass.
All right. Well, that was fun.
That was fun. I did not expect any of that. Pharaoh's daughter, get out of here.
Pharaoh's Daughter, New Covenant, Second Coming, Resurrection.
Pharaoh's
Yeah,
daughter
good stuff.
abandoned assignments, put out 50 billion fortresses.
Yep. And there's a chamber. And let's see. Is there any reason to do that? No, I don't think so. All right, I'm going to pass the turn.
Right. Running Stricken. It's the Stricken show. Protect all decks reserved for opponents during next battle phase.
Still don't like it.
Okay. So if I go to battle, I can search my reserve and my deck during battle. Is that correct?
Protect all decks. I don't think so. Wait, I don't know. Because Nazareth is already
Because yours
active.
was down first.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I'm gonna use
that
Daniel
work?
to negate it anyways in battle, so I don't think it matters.
Right. Yeah. So if Nazareth, if Daniel comes in, then you can search for sure.
Yep. Okay, I have a 3 woes. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with it. Should I negate? I'll negate Fallen Star. No shield.
Okay.
And then I'll play a...
Okay, so yeah, once Nazareth is able to target a deck, you have to disable, so negate or remove Nazareth in order to protect the deck from Nazareth. Nazareth does not protect the deck from your protection. Your protection just wasn't around to protect your deck from Nazareth at some point.
All right, I'm going to activate Daenerys, can't search.
Yep.
So I'm going to just discard it and cash it in for some free money.
Money, money, money. Double humble.
I am so humble. You don't even know. Okay,
well, I'm
not
jealous.
stoked to see that on the top there. Actually, maybe this could work out for me. Equipping a weapon to a Soyvins by the Wyver. Should I play a territory glitch? Laying down Golgotha. None of all my stuff is CBP. Okay, I'm gonna move to my combat step.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Let's go with Daniel. Gate all those fortresses you got out there. It's pretty cute.
No.
And a Michael and 2 Soyvins. I will negate Fallen Star again and draw 2.
Double negated.
And remember, I have a stricken thing protecting, and then I'm gonna use servants to ban to
So I guess that's
against
the other
God.
question. So is Bethlehem stable around to protect my deck from your stricken before
Mm,
Daniel's ability activates?
great question.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guess it, because it would depend maybe on
Well,
when the
like
battle phase
the
begins.
battle phase starts like before I even put stuff into battle, right?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know if it matters that much, but I will ask just in case.
Yep. I'm trying to think if I want to play a dominant before you block.
Sure.
Now that I have access to that sweet, sweet reserve again. The world is my oyster. Grab, scoop up a Son of God here.
It's not good.
I'll play Son of God to rescue your meek lost soul.
Okay.
Then I'll use a crouch choice as good. Grab buckler. I'll play buckler. It will fail to find, but that does mean servants is now protected from evil cards this turn.
Yep.
Okay, those are my dominants. You are up to block.
Okay, I put the question in the Discord here. So we'll find out. Let's see.
Yep. I'm down to wait if you want to wait.
Um, yeah, really, your complacent was right on top there. You couldn't just draw that with Angel Chariots.
That would have been really bad timing for me to draw that off the area.
It would have been so good. Um, hmm. That is quite unfortunate. Let's see. That guy wouldn't work.
Is imitate copying anything right now?
No, sadly, I drew it during my battle phase, so I didn't have a chance to copy Humble.
Rip. That's unfortunate.
It would have been decent, but not, uh, not so wouldn't have got me there completely, I don't think. Okay, so Servants is 5/7. Daniel is 6/7. Those are the two that are protected. Um, yep, I don't think there's a way for me to do anything around that, so I think I will just give you the darkness.
The darkness calls to me. Alrighty, I think I'll be all done here. You're up.
All right. Hmm. All right, so I have an upkeep Bethlehem stable that doesn't work because of my Nazareth. I have. Yeah, you played a lot of dominance already. I think we'll activate 20 shekels. Don't believe your hand is protected by anything. I will
Fortunately not.
bounce. I'll bounce your Daniel, I guess. And oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. That's not good. So much defense.
Did imitate copy humble?
Oh, right, yeah. Imitate. Yes, copied humble.
Okay, good. Just checking.
I totally,
There's three humbles out.
totally did that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um. Hmm. I guess I will play out your Saul of Tarsus. And let's see. Suppose I would have to do it that way then. Let's see, he's just down to being negated one way. I can do that. Alright, I will put down the Deceiver. Put down Red Dragon.
A dragon.
And it's a Dargon.
That's scary.
I will put down a.
Oh wait, enhancements cannot be negated except by an angel. Wait, it's not that scary. What am I saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's you got plenty of angels there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll put that down as well. Swine Stampede. And I will go to battle with a Heavenly Host token. Oh, yeah.
Really? Guess you want that in sweet, sweet initiative, huh?
Something like that.
Okay. Mama, I'm gonna go for a block with Terrifying Beast to discard your character. You can instead from territory.
Right. Yes. Discarding the Heavenly Host token, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right. I was thinking I was safe from trappers because I was going with the angel, but I forgot about the beast also being a hindrance with the hand protection. All right. Well, the token will go to chamber. Now
And I get to complete his band, right?
that's correct. Yep.
I'll just draw to you.
Seems pretty good.
All right. Any? Wait, never mind.
Okay. I think now I will play. Oh, that's interesting. All right, I will pass the turn.
Okay. The cross is up there.
No.
During my upkeep, I can switch to something else. I will. Lone Star is interesting, but I think we can deal with him. Maybe. Yeah, we can deal with the Fallen Star. I will negate your shield again.
All right.
And then, do I have any other upkeep triggers? I don't think so. I'm going to Stocks the Fallen Star.
Oh.
And then I will There's no way I'm getting down to 4 or less cards. So I guess I'm just gonna go to my rescue tip now.
All right. I think. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. Go with Meshach. Prevent the next, except to Daniel. I may draw 1. Ban to Daniel. It's gonna negate everything. Ban to servants. Actually, ban to Michael. Bans to servants. Who will draw 2.
Mm-hmm.
I drew a color guard. And then servants will ban to this. And that'll be my gigantic rescue attempt.
So much rescue. Okay, so preventing the next. Daniel's negating the things. And I thought I was gonna have a good block, and then you switched up the band a little bit. Hmm. Hmm. Well. And you are protecting things. Okay. So I believe my imitate humble is active.
It is
So
very
I
active.
will. Oh no, that doesn't work. I needed Swine Stampede in my hand and be able to block with it. Doesn't quite work. Hmm. Alright, well, I guess we gotta try it this way. I will block with the Deceiver. Since Nazareth is negated, I will go to my deck for a Divining Damsel.
Which
And
mode are you choosing?
I would like to reveal your hand.
Alrighty.
Looks like it gives me a very sad 1 card.
Have fun.
But I believe it could be the 1.
Okay. Another
I don't know what the 1 is, but
Swine Stampede?
I don't think it was the 1. Alright, well, I will. I assume it's my initiative.
Mm.
Alright, I'll play my Destructive Sin to withdraw all the angels. And that would have been awesome if I had a character that was big enough to beat Meshach and Daniel. Initially, the plan was just block with Red Dragon and then play it, because I'd withdraw your angels. So even if you did have Daniel's Prayer, you wouldn't be able to negate it with your humans. But unfortunately, you had Meshach as well to add to the party.
Yeah.
So I think you're just gonna win by the numbers, because you drew and you're complacent as well. So I don't have my him. This is my
I just
last
had
ditch
you
effort.
unlock that game.
That was rough.
All right.
Hey, but I got to do the Nazareth thing. I got it out at least.
Interesting.
30
Still trying to
cards left in my
comprehend what
deck.
your deck is doing.
So I mean the goal was like turn 1 Nazareth, kind of like, and I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that definitely would have helped me out based on how much searching you did. Although you did have 3 woes out right away. So that, maybe would have changed things up a little bit, because then you got to play woes as evil and negate
Yeah.
Nazareth and all that.
I'd either have to negate Shield, Fallen Star, or Nazareth, and that was like a lot. considering how much searching I was doing that game.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then it was rough you being able to make Lost Soul tokens right away at the beginning. The Lost Souls card is definitely not one I
It's
really
good.
want to see with
It's
this deck.
good.
So the defense is trying to pull off a Swine Stampede and DOU. One or
Mm.
both, and then try to hide the Lost Souls for as long as possible. So that's why it's
Old
at
fashioned soldier out.
yeah, it's kind of like
and the
a Nazareth
and Nazareth,
Soul-hide kind of thing.
yeah, it works really well because people can't just search things out of your deck.
Right. Yep. So there was Resurrection
Like it.
Revealer and
Like it.
Moses to turn off, like Hopper and Lost Souls and Covet and all that. Well, I guess Nazareth turns off Covet as well, but uh, yeah, that's kind of the idea, which it sort of almost worked.
Mhm.
It was just like too many layers with each attack. I think where I just couldn't land the Swine Stampede off of Red Dragon because of your Servants by the River, and then I didn't have anybody to band, so guess I should have put or kept Judean mediums in here. That would have been
That would
good.
have been great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Thanks for the game.
yeah, for sure. Thanks for uh, accommodating the late night. I mean, I guess you were the one who was asking, and then but made it work. So is there an Overtaken in here somewhere, or is it just a straight up Gray
No
Daniel?
overtake. This is more of like a Terminator style Daniel deck. It's not playing that many Daniel cards. It's more of like overloading on defense.
Okay.
And the question I was trying to say is like, how can I play the best Romans Destroy Jerusalem deck?
Oh, sure. Nice.
And so Daniel was like a natural. So I'm not playing any fortresses. These are my only sites.
Oh, okay.
No New Testament.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
The
Run
turn
stake
the
out all
card
my stuff.
I had what
Duplicity
was
to
it? I had
yeah.
Duplicity. I was just waiting to slam that, but then you put down a Nazareth. I'm like, dang it.
Okay, so it's good that I played Nazareth because I had
Yeah.
angelic guidance
If
in
you
my
had gone,
hand, so I would have been able to look at your hand and then go search for a battle winner. But if I uh if I hadn't done Nazareth, then I wouldn't have
yeah,
gotten a chance to
things
play
would have
angelic
got
guidance. So that worked out. Yeah,
things would have got real bad for you.
I think I don't know what I was debating about was whether I should activate the cross instead of Daenerys there
Mm,
and just try to turn off
right.
dominance since you had a bunch, but you played mayhem. So I was like, oh, maybe you won't get them all back right away. But I guess you didn't have that many cards left in your deck anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hmm. Yep, something to consider. I wonder. Okay, so I wouldn't have drawn a Lost Soul next turn. Would have drawn one the turn after that though. I suppose if I was able to shuffle or Sheol or something, then would have gotten there. But yeah, turn one Sheol and
And
then
then you have
no
the
triggers feels kind of bad.
you have tribute to give me Nazareth and while your
Right.
staple is out, and
Yep.
it's just so brutal if they do that.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily worth it or not because like I'm mostly built around Nazareth. They're like built. There aren't that many search abilities except stuff that tutors for Nazareth, but there are enough that it would be helpful to use tribute, but I don't know. Maybe it's too few and far between that it actually works out where I have Nazareth and stable early enough to
And tribute. Yeah.
I don't know. Could be a card that gets cut, but I don't know. I
At least
suppose
you're trying it.
Resurrection and Peter get get stable, or so Resurrection, I guess by itself gets stable in Nazareth. So if I already have tribute, then it works. But
Bet it's not a gospel artifact.
right, yeah, yeah, that would be nice. Although I guess Simon activates it, so I'd have to I wouldn't be able to search for it after I have Nazareth down.
Oh, yeah. The
Yeah,
layering wouldn't quite work out.
right. Yeah, yeah. Same thing with delivered. That's why that ended up getting cut as well. But kind of the idea with Simon was like if I can activate the cross and Nazareth on in the same attack, then that you know stops them from woes or shipwreck and on Nazareth right away.
Mhm.
So that was kind of where the Simon splash came in. But I don't know, definitely a work in progress, but it was fun at least. I'm
Yeah.
glad I at least got that one mayhem battle because yeah, that the the mayhem that you played, like I don't think I really had anything going for me in my hand at that point. Like I had the star, or I played the Star of Bethlehem. I had shipwreck and something else, or but yeah, the mayhem got me into Second Coming and Resurrection. So I was like, all right, well, if
Yeah.
I've got them, might as well use them, right?
Yeah, you put me in a real bad spot because you burned up Nero in a fire chaff storm. I had nothing left.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of wondering. Let's see, did I draw any lost souls off of that 4 drachma coin? I wonder if I just slowed down a little bit. If I had just done the cross and
Yeah.
try to slow down the soul drawing since I took out your lost souls. That might have been better. But I was kind of hoping that since I did get the Nazareth down and I wasn't going to win the battle, that I might draw into something
Mhm. Mhm.
with 4 drachma coin. Like let's see, what would have actually worked against? I think Annunciation would have worked to negate your Claudius.
Yep.
And expelled from, oh no, expelled from heaven wouldn't work either because he's human. Hmm. Yeah, I guess that would have been the only one, and it would have been not as good. So,
Not a lot of outs there.
yep, especially in a 63 card deck.
All
But
right, I'm
yeah,
gonna let you
and
get some
against
sleep.
this big defense too. It was
Mm.
yeah, it's probably a little more aggressive than I should have been, but it was good.
Yep.
All right, well, yeah, thanks again, and we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Have a good one.